Hey, what's up everybody, this is Muse24, and today I'm going to be taking a look at the 1 to 100 scale Master Grade Banshee. So the Banshee is a mobile suit design that I just really like because it's based off the Unicorn, obviously, and that's, as I've mentioned before, in one of my favorite Gundam series of all time, even though it hasn't finished yet. I just love the way that it's played out. I also like the fact that it is a black version of the Unicorn. We don't have that many black mobile suits in Gundam overall, especially not ones that are so prominent. So when we do get a black mobile suit that kind of pops up, it's kind of a treat, I think, just based on the designs that they do for a lot of them. Some of them are a little less exciting, like there was one of the Seed Destiny, or Seed mobile suits that was, I forget the name of it, but it was like a bird. I want to say it was like the Raider Gundam or something like that. Anyways, that one didn't really do anything for me, but this one, because it's so simple and yet so, I think, well stated in terms of design with the gold and the black, I think it really works quite nicely, and it's a really cool contrast to the sort of pinkish red of the Unicorn cycle frame, as well as the white exterior, and then here we have the black, obviously. The box on this thing is really big, and the Unicorn's box was pretty big too. I love the artwork here on the front with the Banshee with the cycle frame deployed, firing its big cannon there. We have the Unicorn mode version in the background there. Along the sides, we have a front shot and back shot, a look at the gold, and this on the box here is painted up, so it's more of a shiny gold. What you get out of the box is sort of a yellowish, plasticky gold that you can see better there. Other side, front shot and back shot of the Destroy mode, front shot and back shot of the Unicorn mode, and then there are the different weapons deployed, and then of course the top is the same thing as you get on the front of the box. Taking a look at the instruction manual, we have the new school design here with basically the same artwork as you would have on the box, but still just looks a lot nicer than the old manuals did. Flip it open, we have sort of a rundown of everything about Unicorn Gundam and the Banshee, as well as the Unicorn, a list of all the parts and runners, and you're going to have quite a few extra parts left over. One, because this one technically doesn't use the shield, that's the Banshee Norn version, but you can still build the shield with all the parts here, and also because you have some parts left over from the Vercow release of the Unicorn Gundam that won't be used in this build. Then there's a list of everything we are going to build, starting with the body unit, moving on to the head, the arms. There's the inside splash color page with the Laplace memory, look at the mobile suit in action, and then some other Unicorn kits, including the Unicorn Unicorn full armor version, and the Sinanju there. We have the waist unit, the leg units, assembling everything together. There's the backpack, and then the weapons and accessories, like where they attach on the kit, as well as the instructions for transforming this thing, a list of where all the stickers and decals go, and then on the back here we have a really cool image of 4 poses of the kit, front and back, in both Unicorn mode and Destroy mode. Now, you'll notice here that the colors, while they do offset each other very nicely, you'll see here in a little bit that they aren't a true black for this color. It's more of like a very dark navy color, and you can maybe see here against the feet that it sort of contrasts there with the gray a little bit. It's not hugely noticeable, against any sort of backdrop. It'll still look very dark and very imposing, and very bulky given the weapons here on the arms. And it does look a lot darker next to the sort of yellowish gold. However, up close, that yellowish gold does look a little cheap and plasticky. It holds up fine. Like when you touch it and everything, it still feels like a fine plastic and all that. But just looking at it, especially here on the collar, it definitely looks a little bit cheaper than if they had done like a pure gold like they have on the Hyakushiki. This foil sheet of stickers is pretty typical of any Master Grade kit. You have the eyes there. You have the cameras for the front and back of the head, which you really can't see on this kit that well just because of the unicorn horn there being so big in front of the head. And then you also have these green ones, which are effectively pointless on this kit because you don't have the rifle to put those onto. You also have a little black one here, which goes around the front of the horn piece. And I feel like they probably could have put some sort of plastic piece over top of that because you can see the lines and the creases there a little bit. It's not terrible, but I am afraid that over time it might peel up a little bit. Then you also get a sheet of clear stickers, all sorts of little warning logos and all that, and a sheet of dry transfer decals with some of the little extra lines like you had on the Unicorn's backpack and Anaheim Electronics logos. I haven't put these on yet. I might do that sometime in the future, and because of the way that I'm doing this review, splitting it up, and the way that I'm kind of filming it over a longer period of time, you may notice later in the review that I have put those on there, and that's just a result of me doing that part later after I put those on. For the first size and style comparison here, I've actually left the Unicorn in destroy mode, partly because I was lazy, but also partly because I wanted to show how different the gold that I painted on the Unicorn's horn looks compared to the yellowish gold on the Banshee's plastic. This was basically just a quick paint job on the horns. Didn't take me more than, a few minutes just to do that up. And I like the way that it turned out. It's very simple, but it definitely stands out nicely. And compared to the yellow that comes with the Banshee, I think it looks a lot better, especially against that white, than this sort of yellowish gold does on the black, or dark navy rather. The Banshee doesn't look as bad when it's deployed with the full Psycho frame there. I think the yellow gold works decent enough with the yellow Psycho frame there, but just in the Unicorn mode here, it doesn't look nearly as impressive as I think a true gold would have. And I kind of considered painting it right out of the box, but I figured I'd just build it this way, and if I want to go back and paint it later, I would. You can also tell next to the custom crossbone 2 that I painted, this is a glossy black, and you can kind of see the difference there as to how much darker and more of a true black this is than this really dark navy on the Banshee. You can also see just how tall the Banshee is in destroy mode compared to something really small like the crossbone, and how much height it's going to get when we finally transform it into its Banshee mode, as evidenced by the Unicorn there. Even compared with something like the Mark II here, which has a very dark gray chest piece and little bits around the backpack and all that, the Banshee still looks more of like a navy color. I'm actually a little bit surprised, and maybe it's because I have the HD color version of the Gundam Mark II here, but it definitely stands out as being closer to a black or just a really, really dark gray than the Banshee does. So that just kind of is interesting and something I didn't really expect that much. The other thing to take into consideration is when you're displaying this kit, even when it is in destroy mode, you're basically going to have two main colors on the Banshee. You're going to have that navy black color, and you're going to have the yellowish gold, which is a very distinct look, but also a very decidedly two-tone and sort of limited look in terms of the colors you're going to get compared to something like the more traditional Gundam colors on the Exia here. I mean, the Exia's color pattern is very decidedly blue and white, but you still have the yellow and the red and the gray, which sort of stand out and give it a little bit of an accent here and there, as opposed to, these two main colors. Yeah, you have the gray in there a little bit, but it's very much overshadowed by the navy and the gold. Anyways, everybody, that pretty much wraps up part 1 of this review. Be sure to check back for part 2, where I'll do the transformation. I'll give another size comparison in destroy mode, go over the posability of the kit, and give my final thoughts on the Master Grade Banshee. See you then, everybody.